Welcome back to another After Work special. My name is Garrett, and this is Mojo Manufacturing.
Everything you said they already knew, more or less.
Well, here's something that you didn't know. 2 of those special atomic bombs haven't gone off.
A long time ago, back when I used to make rings, I got this small little tumbler, and it's from Harbor Freight. And I just put some of this own things in there. I forget what they're called, but then that's how I sort of cleaned up the shifter. Got all the sharp edges off and got all the old tool marks off there, except for that one right there. That's a program error on my part. Still a prototype, so not too bad. It turned out really good, and it really, like, it sort of roughs the outside, but then keeps that inside nice and shiny where the letters are. Pretty sweet. So anyway, Harbor Freight, shifter handle, looks good. The other thing I wanted to get into was doing some PN. In other words, preventative maintenance on this awesome piece of machinery here. Since I've had this, I basically just hooked everything up and then sort of went with it. I mean, I pull the oiler every time I start up the machine and every time I use it, so I can oil all the linear ways within the whole system here. But other than that, I really haven't checked anything else. I haven't pulled back the way covers or anything to see if any chips have fallen in there. But that's basically what I'm going to do this week. I mean, there wasn't a lot going on this week. I did a quick recon on the shifter handles just to see if anybody would want one as a product. I would sell that as a product, and I sort of set it up for that already. But I went to a Facebook group, decent-sized Facebook group, focused on the Ford ST people, like Fiesta STs and Focus STs, which is the kind of car that I have, which is originally why I made this shifter handle. So that's cool. I went on there just to see if anybody would want one for the price that I was offering, and I got a pretty decent response, so I went ahead and ordered material for that. I ordered 20 pieces of saw cut material from Metal Supermarkets. Those 20 pieces are 1.75 by 1.75 by 4.5 inches long. Got 20 of those. Each of those with if you're counting shipping, basically I ended up getting those for $6.50, I think, if you're counting shipping. Without shipping, they were like $5.44. I didn't think that was too bad for 20 of those pieces. I mean, they're fairly heavy too, so I thought that was a pretty decent price. Anyway, let's get into checking this thing out. The drawbar. I have a power drawbar with the cylinder here. Whoa. And I just really want to check to see if I have everything greased up good enough and everything tightened down like that guy. He is not tightened down. It's like, while I'm in here, I'm going to check to see if there's any frayed cables on the spindle belt. Everything looks fairly decent there. Tighten this thing down. So one thing I did not do when I first got this was put anti-seize on the outside of the collet that holds the tool holder in place. The R8 collet, I believe it is. So that's one thing I'm going to do now. I'm going to take this out, take the drawbar out, and put some anti-seize on that. So it says to put some anti-seize, this is some copper anti-seize, on the threads of the drawbar, which is this guy. Boom. Threads on the drawbar. Done. It also says to put some of this anti-seize on the inside of the R8 spindle taper and the outside of the R8 TTS collet. I realized that anti-seize gets everywhere, and now I just voluntarily put it on my fingers. So if you haven't noticed, I'm doing all these highlighted ones that really apply to me. See, like clean chip basket. I don't have no chip basket. Alright, so that's done with the weekly. Let's go to the monthly and see what we got going on. Inspect electrical cabinet vents and build up. Pull back way covers and inspect ways and ball screw for proper lubrication. Looks like it's been lubed up to me. It's pretty greasy. You can sort of see that ball screw down there. It looks okay. Yeah, she looks pretty greasy. So this is what scares me a little bit. After pulling back the Z-axis, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of oil like there is on this X-axis. Or excuse me, this is the Y-axis. Ball screw looks pretty decent, but the ways, the linear ways here, they don't seem very greased up. So I'm gonna pull the plunger just to see what we get. Cool. So we're getting something. It pushed it out. I pulled the plunger. Pushed the plunger, and the oil piece is right here, so it ended up pushing it down out here. So I think we're all right. Just scared, like the tops of these aren't terribly lubricated, but I think those are all right. It did push some out down here, so we know there's some oil getting to it somehow. Ooh, nothing. So I guess on the X-axis you just have to sort of look down in there to see if it's okay. Looks pretty greasy to me. I think we'll be alright. Pull back way covers and check that out. Cool. Spindle belt, gotcha. Inspected the way covers while I took them off. I didn't even replace them. Inspect to make sure oil is getting everywhere. And we're okay there. X-axis flex conduit. We're okay so far. Haven't been using it that long, but I can see why that could get worn out pretty quick. Limit switches are good. Door switches are okay. I think it stops the spindle whenever you open up the cabinet door. Looks good. So there was really nothing big going on this week. I just got everything done with the shifter. I'm actually going to ship that shifter off for free to somebody that sort of asked it to be a guinea pig, and I'm just going to give it to them. I know what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to thicken the actual part where you hold of the shifter. I'm going to thicken that up by like another 1/4 of an inch, because it's really, when you're riding down the road, it feels like you're not holding on to anything. You are, but it's just, it doesn't feel comfortable, I guess. So that's why I'm going to make that just a little bit thicker. Basically, I did this just to get ready for a production run of those shifters. I'm going to run, I'm getting 20 of those pieces, so that's going to be pretty exciting to run. That's my first actual production run that I'll have going on. Other than that, I think it'll be okay, and I think the machine looks pretty good from what I can tell.